All right.
A
And
little
now,
applause.
just a little applause
for the
for a
boys.
couple of boys. Welcome to Sad Boys, a podcast about feelings and other things also. I'm Jarvis.
I'm Jordan, the Invisalign bastard.
Oh, this kid, he's fixing his teeth in an invisible way.
Yeah, it's my teeth. By the end of the year, no teeth. They'll be there, but they
They'll
will
be
be
invisible.
transparent.
Yeah.
Can you hear it? Can you tell?
No, not at all.
No, I'm really trying.
I feel like when I have my retainer in, which is not the same as Invisalign, but it's like a similar concept. Like, you know, it's like changeable retainers, right? Like
Yeah, it's a secret, just like Invisalign. You're not supposed to be able to tell.
when my retainer's in, you can absolutely tell. It's
It's like
a problem.
like a mouth guard.
Yeah, I actually sound like Bane with my retainer.
Something's up with Jarvis. Oh, he's about to go
Yeah.
to bed.
Good night.
He's still talking about Batman. I'm sleepy. The city will be in ashes.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute since our last pod.
Yeah, it's been the last one was Nick, right?
Yeah, and it's been an especial minute. It's been an extra long minute since we recorded just us, no stream, no extra people. It's just the boys sharing a tender moment.
The podcast was literally years. Not streaming. We
Yeah.
started streaming at the end of 2020, I want to say.
Yeah, I feel like when we do an episode in person where it's just us, the universe will like fold in on itself.
It's going to be really...
And we'll return to like 2018 or something.
It's going to be so surreal. Like I literally... So like... I'm huge, massive, have a great platform and I'm very famous now.
Mhm.
There's... If I get recognized, it's never in a way that feels very organic. I was out with Ethan recently, our friend Ethan, and that
Yeah.
felt very like, they went up and like, you Jordan and Ethan, and I think it's because Ethan maybe seems more approachable than me. Like, a human being. Every other time it's always barista, Apple Store employee, etc. Full transaction complete, and then like, would you by the way, did you do the thing?
Yeah.
Person that sounds unique and has tattoos, the very specific.
Yeah.
The most unsettling one, which I bring up because it shows how long this damn show has been reverberating around in our souls. I went to some like coffee stop on my way back to the UK on my last trip, and after the transaction, somebody says, "Hey, did you used to have a podcast?"
Oh.
Like, yeah, interesting. I'm assuming she's going to be like a Jarvis person.
Right,
or maybe
right.
a me person. I don't
Yeah.
know. She's neither. She's just a podcast person. And
Which podcast?
just Sad Boys.
Oh.
Sad Boys in 2017 only.
What?
And then, because you want to know the quote that upset me? I had a big smile on my face and ha ha ha, and then tears.
Did she say
I used to
Justin?
listen to you guys in high school.
Oh no.
Let me remind you,
Oh,
this is
no.
a working adult.
Oh no.
This
They're like,
person-
I've joined the workforce now.
This
I have a
person owns and operates
401k
their, like,
and a
third
mortgage.
car.
Yeah.
This person's
Oh,
been
dear.
through like a full adult relationship, moved in
Yeah.
and out with someone.
It is also a lot of our audience is at that age where a couple years passing is like a huge era of life, you know?
Yes.
Which
Full
I don't like to think
transformation.
about it very much. I also feel like we were robbed of some years in the pandemic, and I'm just pretending like those didn't happen. So the last 2 years, it's the time skip. It's the time skip season.
I'm taking all the XP. I'm taking all the new powers I gained during that time, but I'm still youthful.
Right.
I'm still
Right. We haven't aged. Not a lick. Not a
day,
bit.
especially not my bones, especially
No,
not me,
Nor
body
my
hurting
back,
all the
which
time.
I injured recently. How are you doing? What's good? What's new with you, Scooby Doo?
What is good? I could be wrong. Well, no, I'm never wrong. But last time we recorded, or last time I guess we just talked about this thing on mic in any context, I had not been back to the US yet.
I think that's true.
I think because it was in my old apartment, which I had moved out of.
Yeah,
before I-
and now you've been back twice.
I've been back twice, 2 weeks at a time, and then 6 weeks at a time, and then in 6 weeks from now, I'll be back for 2 months. It's weird. I'm still like struggling to. For people unfamiliar, say you listened to us in high school and then you took a little break for whatever reason,
and now you're working.
Really wanted to get back into the show 5 years later.
Mm-hmm.
I over the course of the pandemic, my visa had expired and I wasn't able to get back into the country. So for 2 years, I was just kind of absent from America and my American people. After 5 years or whatever of living there. Then after the especially challenging year following that, I finally got to, even though I had my visa, the travel ban was in place. So even a year after I got my visa, I couldn't come back. Finally got it.
Right.
End of February of this year, I want to say. Came
Yeah.
back for a couple of weeks. Fully in the knowledge that because I have some very kind of specific responsibilities here still, life was always going to be a back and forth, right? Spend a lot of hours on a plane, a little time here, a little time there. It's a shame that plane humor has been completely destroyed because boy, do I have some insights.
Plane humor's been destroyed by Seinfeld 30 years ago. Is that
who that motherfucker goes up, huh? That plane?
Yeah.
It's going
what
down.
Is the deal? What is the deal with that?
What is the deal with that? Just like a caveman? What is deal?
What is
plane
deal
go up?
Metal bird in sky.
But so I was expecting to spend a lot of time like that. But I would be honest, man. We haven't really talked about this. The language in my brain is starting to change from the US being the place I'm visiting to vice versa.
That is big.
I mean, it's, I'm on 2 leases here, so it definitely feels more tangible. But there's very few blockers, or there's going to be very few blockers from me moving back in a more official capacity soon. And that's like a very weird place for my head to sit. So when things go wrong or things are stressful, I'm not trying to preach mindfulness or a yoga-like balance. I am
How
just
dare
kind
you?
of,
yeah.
I'm celebrating what is such a substantial win, maybe to the detriment of improving other parts of my life. I'm ignoring, say, like my physical health because I'm still celebrating, like, ooh, excitement. I got to do my time with my friends. So
I mean, I will be the first to say that I am elated at this current situation and look for it to, progress and continue, and I'm very excited for your fateful return.
Well, I mean, maybe I don't know if this is too sappy for the pod, if there's such a thing, but it's completely because of you. You supported me through all of this, helped me it literally just helped me emotionally get through that period of time. But then, the visa itself is through Sad Boys LLC. You've helped me logistically as well. So now,
yeah, I mean, like for each of us and through various circumstances and contexts, the past couple of years has been very difficult. Also for the world. And
I've been hearing that.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm glad that we have each other. I'm grateful for you. I'm, grateful for the progress that we've made. And it's only just beginning, baby.
It feels like that, huh? I mean, I'm so... the funny thing is, man, every time we've done the pod for the 100 or whatever times we've recorded it in whatever context, released or otherwise, whatever, the thing that always hits my brain is, man, I hope it goes well. Like, I hope I don't mess something up or slip up. I'm never nervous anymore for years at this
like
point.
the recording of the
podcast.
Yeah.
But
it's pretty relaxed, yeah.
More the curiosity of like, but will it? But can I? But will it? And then we start doing the show again, and I realize it is just like my curiosity is because I'm looking forward to spending time with my friend.
Aww.
That's
dude.
It's I'm not nervous, but all my friends are going out tonight. I'm looking forward to joining them. I'm hoping I don't make a bad joke or like screw up.
Yeah, I know that feeling. And I am really excited about, I mean, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves too much, but we're trying to bring back the show in a more regular capacity, and that's very exciting because I think I miss having the slot in my week to, I have therapy and stuff, but it's very different to just like be able to complain or just chat or just check in about the ridiculous happenings in my week. And it's cool to have a record of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, and I do have some things that I want to talk about. But if you're comfortable with me bringing this up, Jordan, I do want to mention that, you know, the last episode I listened to of the podcast was an episode that we recorded in 2018 with a friend of the show, Tyler May, who unfortunately passed about 2 weeks ago. And I really want to focus on like celebrating Tyler's life and, you know, the friendship that we had and the times that we shared, and just like, you know, the genuine light that he brought to both of us and how instrumental he was in the very early days of the show. You know, it's like he took all of our photos. He was on hand for all sorts of technical support. He was just like a dude who like really loved to help, and he was like just a great friend to both of us. And hopefully we were to him as well. Yeah.
A better cheerleader in everybody's corner.
Yeah. No kidding. You know, down to like a couple months ago now, or a month ago now, I was just talking to him about some of his new plans and what he was up to in Atlanta, what he was getting off the ground. And yeah, I just wanted to sort of have a little moment to thank Tyler, for kind of being with us, you know, for the time that he was, and for being a great friend to us both. And also just like listening back to that 2018 episode, which was about depression, which is something that, you know, Tyler is an expert on. And it was kind of crazy. Just, it was surreal in a number of ways, because, you know, I'm now posthumously listening to a conversation that we had with one of our friends, and also planting myself back in your San Francisco apartment, you know, sitting on the bed or whatever, recording the episode. It was a very like out of body, very surreal experience.
Yeah, I just don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Man, I just don't know. I wish not this version of me is not going to make great.
No,
maybe
it's
not
okay.
The best content. I don't know.
And I didn't clear this ahead of time. I kind of sprung this on you.
No,
so.
it's how can we not, right?
Yeah.
I also maybe I just realized my mic might have been peaking before. I think it's fine, but for
You're
some reason
fine.
the gain was really, really fucking high. Yeah. It's so distant. Tyler, as you say, he was living in Atlanta. He was the last person. He was staying with me right before I came back to the UK. So he was like, it's been.
I remember that.
Pre-pandemic, it was, and then we were talking, like 2 months ago about meeting up in the UK if he's around, or next time I'm coming back through.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Yeah, I don't know. It's not. I'm always scared of feeling like I'm co-opting it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Co-opting grief for content. And it's not that. It's just a thing that I'm scared of, because I don't know how else to do it appropriately. And I
know, and this isn't something that I think we're gonna go into today. Like maybe we'll give ourselves some time to grieve and process. But I did kind of want to update our community about that.
And it's a really nice. I couldn't finish it. I got like a third in. But listening to the episode was really nice, and not because of the topic or anything. Just the voice, just hearing Tyler was tricky. He has a really cool voice. When I was listening back to that, I was like, he sounds very cool. This is perhaps cooler than he really was. I mean that's the big thing, and why it is nice to talk about him, is that Tyler wasn't just like a friend of ours. We knew him a really long time, but also we knew him basically, yeah, as long as we've known each other.
Yeah.
And he was an intern with us at Patreon. He was an intern on my team, and then just kind of through pure likability and enthusiasm. And I don't know any, like, as I say, I've never known anybody to be more of a cheerleader for other people's creative goals, and
Yeah, definitely.
more of an enthusiast for YouTube, especially just like
Yeah.
creators, the space, the form. He's just like very inspiring in a lot of ways, and
it's funny because it's funny because he was such a talking about content with him is just, it's not about the content that was produced. It's just that his passion, he was a photographer, videographer. He had a passion for this stuff. It's what he did. And so seeing us pursue this stuff was something that he, was very supportive of. And it's funny how much he was just like it behind the scenes for things. Like when I looked at like photos of us and stuff, there's not that many photos of all of us in a photo together because he's usually behind the camera. You know what I mean? And in the another funny thing is just like I was just remembering, him crashing at my place and me recording a video. It's like 2018 or something like that. Recording a video in San Francisco, like late into the night, being super frustrated but like excited to show Tyler that I'm learning things about cameras and production and shit like that. You know what I mean?
I remember that. I mean, he edited some Sad Boys too when we first came back. He's just been a constant, and I think that's what's strange about it, and maybe why it doesn't feel still very real. There's the most distinct memory for whatever reason that I have is when Tyler would come and stay with me in SF before we moved to LA. If he would come and stay with me, you remember my SF place. It's in old Sad Boys episode videos, actually. It's just one room. So it's, the little loft above and then the living room downstairs.
Right.
Living room, kitchen, bathroom. Hybrid house. He would sleep on that couch on there. I'd be up top. And there was just sleepover energy. Every time he was over, we would sleep like complete shit because bone sober, just a couple of rowdy boys, me lying down upstairs. And the thing that kept coming into my brain was just, I'm not exaggerating when I say it was like 3.5, 4 hours of us just like, right as the other one was starting to go to sleep, just go like, oh, Tyler, oh, sorry. And then just going, Jordan. No, sorry, it's fine.
Oh yeah, the very sleepover thing where you're just like, "Are you awake? I don't want to wake you up." But
yeah, every single time. And then at the bit just became, I hate it so much, but the real index fingers together. Sorry, hey, you awake? Sorry, for hours, and that is like a very fond memory. And he was always very kind and sweet, and
it's something that we couldn't come back without mentioning, but it's something I think we'll talk about more later, but for now I think Tyler would be okay with a hard topic switch. He would probably have like a levity dynamic, he would probably have because that was the whole thing. It's like we could talk about really dark topics and then like switch into something very goofy, but
he's in the DNA of our whole relationship, our whole dynamic.
Yeah.
Friends outside of you and me, but you and me as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, aside from that hot topic switch, how the hell are you? How's your week?
My week has been, it's been mostly normal, but there's a lot of things happening around me that are very not normal. And I will go into those things. So one, this week I kind of tweaked my back a little bit working out, so I've been trying to take it easy because I don't want to develop an injury, especially a back injury, because those things are apparently a bitch and a half.
It could add a little bit of a kind of new flavor to the post time skip Jarvis, though, like Batman Beyond Bruce Wayne, how he's got a cane, that's how you know.
I would prefer if it's just like I'm like super ripped because I'm working out all the time. Got a new workout regimen. We'll talk about it at some point in the future. But I made a little list of things. So
these are abnormal things happening around you.
Yes. So the biggest one is that I'm moving.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one. I'm still in LA. I'm not moving very far. I'm just moving to I'm moving to a house, not buying a house, but renting. And the motivation of it is twofold, and the story is kind of wild.
Well, let me take a guess. You were just in the mood for a move and you decided to do it really suddenly, immediately for no reason.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like,
cool.
Things are going pretty steady here, and I don't have enough on my plate. Let me complicate that by picking up all my shit and taking it a couple miles to the east.
I hate knowing where everything is.
Who needs it? Let's have some chaos. So, I want to say this now was 2 weeks ago. It was like a Tuesday. I'm minding my own business, as I often do in my own home. Get a knock on the door. It's somebody from the property management company of my apartment.
Let's name names, baby. Names their address.
I think his name is Bill.
Okay.
So Bill shows up at my door and he's like, "Hey, have you heard the news?" And I was like,
"He is risen."
Yeah, no, for real. I was like, I look at the sky. And I'm like, "I don't believe that I have." And he's like, "Oh, well, do you remember when you moved in 2019 and we were like, hey, we are probably going to build some new units on the property at some point in the near future?" And I was like, "No, I don't really remember that, as it was 3 years ago and then it didn't happen." And like, "Oh, well, yeah, now it's happening. And it's happening next week." Quoi? You know?
Mi scusi?
And I was like, "Oh." And then he also said tomorrow the team is coming out to like scope out the backyard, like make some measurements, clean up some stuff. And I was like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Is there anything I can do to ease in that transition from you? Oh, you'll also lose access to the garage, and also the driveway where you park your car. So you have to park on the street. And also
do you
won't have any
want
storage."
water and power? Is that something you care about?
It's funny that you mentioned that. Bookmark that for later. So, so he's like, "Is there anything I can do to help ease this transition for you?" And I was like, I think what I said to him was, "I don't think I can ask of you what would help me." You know what I mean? Which is to not do it.
Yeah,
I
please.
don't think no is something that I'm allowed to say here, but that's the only thing that would really help.
Well, did you try?
No, well, he's like, I get it.
Oh, fair enough, mate. I love the channel.
Yeah, the
Where's
next
the pod?
day, yeah, he's like, "I've been waiting on the pod." The next day, the team comes out, and it's not just like scoping out the area. They're cutting down trees. They're like, zzz, they're doing work, which to me, I think would count as construction work, because I guess they're technically not like laying bricks. That doesn't technically count as the construction starting, because I went to my lease and it was like, they have to give me 7 days notice, allegedly. 7 days, not a lot of notice. So now,
well, but it's more than none.
Also,
which sounds like what they did with the tree cutting.
Right. Which is like, I still think I got less than I was supposed to, even though what I basically had contractually was basically nothing. Then, the construction is also going to take over 6 months. And I'm like, 6 months of construction, I have to move. Like, immediately while I'm talking to Bill here, I'm like, I can't. Even now, I'm starting to hear like buzzing and shit happening. And I'm like, I can't work through a bunch of construction, because I tried doing my job from San Francisco, where I lived on like a busy intersection and on top of a bar, and it was fucking infuriating.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
I remember the water in your eyes.
Yeah, it was rough. I would like lose my temper at the slightest honk, because I would like be trying to deliver a line. I would be like saying ba 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 ba, honk, and I'd be like, fuck, and I'd have to like repeat the line, and then like a fucking car crash would happen, some knocking would happen, someone would shout at someone else. I was like, this sucks.
And now I think of it, people would probably be surprised how long that went on for. That was like till the end of 2019.
Yeah, it was end of 2018, middle of 2019. Yeah, because I moved to LA. Yeah, the middle of almost. It's about to be September, so it's almost 3 years ago to the day. And so I've been in this spot for the past 3 years, but in that moment I was like, I have to move. So anyway, I start looking for a new place, and yeah, I am month to month at this point, fortunately, so I don't have to like break my lease or anything. But I look at a couple of places. I realize how fucking expensive rent is because I've been kind of rent controlled in my current spot, and I'm like, oh wow, they're bleeding us dry over here in the rent game. It just so happens I like put out a couple of feelers for places. I send in some applications, and this is like Wednesday. It's like Bill came to my door on Tuesday. Wednesday, things are developing faster than I anticipated, but ultimately that's a good thing because I don't have a lot of time. I want to do this as fast as possible because I will probably lose my mind if I actually have to record under heavy construction.
Yeah.
And so on Wednesday, the next day, one of the places is like, hey, can you come by and see the place at 3? And I was like, sure. Another place who had no idea that I was seeing a place at 3 was like, hey, can you come see a place at 4? I was like, absolutely can. This is great timing. You have no idea.
You open the door and it's Bill at both of them.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, do you want to go see some properties?
Hey, what's going on? We're actually doing construction here.
Actually, yeah. Can you get all of your shit out of here? So I go, the first place I go to is awesome. It has a yard. It's got more rooms than I need, but a lot of space for Dipper. Which is important for another thing that's developed last week, but I'll talk about that in a second. And I'm like, oh wow, this place has a huge yard. I can't unsee this yard. And then I go see another place for the same price that basically looks like my apartment now, but is twice as expensive.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, so I think I need to move into an upgrade in order to excite myself about this move.
Sure.
Because if I'm moving to like basically the same place, but I have to jump through all the hoops and stuff, that's not going to motivate me to do anything. And it's probably going to affect my mental health, if I'm being honest. So I put in an offer at the place with the yard, and the next day I find out I got it. And so then it's all like, we're still like 2 days out from them being like, we're starting construction. And then also trees were being cut down and shit. So it is actually pretty noisy that week. And yeah, so I move in 6 days. I know. I move in 6 days. I am employing a moving company that's going to help me pack and stuff as well, because I hurt myself, and I want to be careful about that. And also, I want to treat myself. And
I could not be more.
Yeah.
I legitimately think there is like a gene that kicks in somewhere. I don't know if it's tied to age or life experience, but all of a sudden something kicks in. I mean, bear in mind, I've moved 6 times in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Not an exaggeration. And I know people that, like, especially people that haven't moved a lot, that relish the opportunity. They're like, oh, think of how romantic it will be. We'll have everyone around and do this. It is fun and interesting for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's the same thing for a day.
It's
it's like getting a flight instead of walking somewhere.
Right. Yeah, or taking a long road trip across the country.
Over some water.
Yeah, I have a million excuses. Like, I have deadlines this month. I have like all these reasons that it makes sense for me to get some help. But in reality, I just want to do it, and I don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
And So yeah, that's developing. I guess I don't want to say that, so I won't, because I'm like, this is a new place I'm moving. I don't want to. Yeah. So anyway, moving on. The other reason that I am excited to move to a yard, because currently there's no place that Dipper can go. My dog Dipper. He's a year-old husky pit bull mix. He's the best, just super excited all the time, super curious about the world, loves everything and everyone, wants to eat and sniff everything and everyone.
Would probably go pretty crazy for a yard.
Yeah, he would go pretty crazy for a yard. Also, there's nowhere I can take him other than the dog park right now where he can go off leash and like run around. You know what I mean? Because I live on like it's not a busy street, but it's a residential street.
It's a street, yeah.
It's a street. There's not any fences. There's not any areas where he can be. And this isn't stuff that I thought I needed, but my whole outlook on the world changed when I got a dog. And because of his energy level and also my work, sometimes I would take him to the dog park to like get him able to like run around and get his energy out. And I went to the dog park at like 7 a.m. one morning because I was jet lagged from a trip. And I've been to the dog park dozens, if not more, times over the past year. But randomly, this one dog who I've never seen before, like Dipper walks toward him and he just attacks him. Like they don't even meet. They don't even sniff each other. Yeah. He just like attacks. And it all happened so fast. Like Dipper ran ahead of me. So I was like behind him. I like didn't get it. Like I wasn't able to break it up any faster. But the owner of the dog was right there. And they even took a second to break it up. And
they attacked you.
Yeah. And afterward, Dipper seemed fine, honestly. He was just like trying to keep playing and stuff. Because that's just like in his nature. But I noticed, so he actually kept playing and I looked at him and he wasn't like bleeding or anything, or so I thought. Mm. And then he kept playing a little bit and then we went home because I'm like, I don't like this dog. And when we got home, I realized he was like bleeding and I was like, oh no. And then
where'd they get him?
On the back of his neck. Mm. And then apparently his ear, which I did not even know until we went to the vet. So I look on the back of his neck and like you can clearly see like a puncture, like it's like just a gaping hole, and I'm like, oh. I guess content wording for description of injuries. And so we go to the vet. Excuse me. Oh, I'm losing it.
Oh, you hate to see it. Damn.
I hate that.
Damn, dude.
Anyway, we go to the vet, and I don't think the injuries are bad because I'm just doing this out of caution because I now realize that he's injured, but he's fine. He's basically the same. And they're like, "Oh no, we need to do surgery tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh fuck!" And they're like, yeah, there's this big laceration on the back. It's like not just the puncture, but like how far it goes like under the skin. And also he has like a laceration on the ear. And I didn't even know that. And then that got infected.
Oh, damn.
And then they couldn't like sort of close it up. They had to like do some stuff where like his ear had to get like sutured down as it currently is now for the next couple of days before we go back to the vet. And they had to do some stuff to his neck, and then that took a while to heal. He is the thing is, I unfortunately didn't get the insurance of the dog owner because I didn't realize what had happened. It was a kind of a rookie mistake.
Right.
I think I would have, behaved differently.
I hadn't even considered that it was like an insurance, like a
because it was like it cost like $1,500 or something for like the surgery and stuff, and luckily I can like afford
the dog
it.
owner is also culpable for the injuring their dog.
They would have been culpable, like probably
Right.
through their insurance and stuff, if I had like found them and reached out to them. But instead, I did this out of pocket, which is annoying. But fortunately, I can afford it. And so yeah, Dipper's been chilling. He's like got his cone on for the next couple days. It's been about 2 weeks since the incident. He's recovering well.
He still got his cone?
Yeah, because he's got these sutures in his ears still, and he can get to it. So I'm gonna take him back. Today's like day 9, I think, that he's since our last checkup, and they said 10 to 12 days. So since tomorrow's a weekend, I'm gonna take him in on Monday to hopefully be cone free. But that's all the reason that I want him to not have to go to the dog park. So it was another motivation for like getting the yard. And so I'm really stoked on that because we'll be able to play. I'll be able to like do stuff with no distractions. Whereas at the dog park, if I want to play like catch or if I want to do stuff,
the peeing,
it's like,
the pee convenience alone.
The pee convenience is huge. The fact that my place is one level now, my new place, and I don't have to go up and down the stairs all the time. Yeah, it's a dream.
I'm getting a dog door for the yard.
There's actually a dog door to a small area where the dog can go to the bathroom from the inside that was built by the owner because they also have dogs. Yeah, it was built by a dog, specially engineered for a dog.
Yeah, Bill the Labrador Retriever.
So there's some fun dog amenities at this place because it's a dog owner. The yard is not all grass, it's like dirt and stuff. It looks nice. It's got plants and stuff, but it's not gonna get killed by like the acidity of dog pee.
Sure,
I don't know if you've seen.
It's a California yard.
Yeah. When a dog pees on grass, it's not exactly healthy for the grass.
Does it make a sound?
Yeah. So those have been the primary updates. So days have been going on. I've been working. I've been doing my normal stuff. But looming over me is this big move. And so I've had like movers come and give me estimates and
how
things
far out
like
are
that.
At time of recording, how far?
6 days.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're moving on Thursday of next week.
Next time I see you, I'll be raiding your new house.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Do you reckon I can get in and be there as a surprise? Do you reckon I can get like Anastasia can get me like a spare key? And I'll just be there and like, what are you talking about? We've lived together for 50 years. 50.
But the thing I'm looking forward to the least is that I have fancy fiber internet now, and I'm gonna have to go back to Spectrum at my new location.
No fibe?
No, it doesn't service that area code yet. So I know.
I'm saying this as somebody that my only experience of your internet was going around to upload footage.
Yeah.
And that alone was magic enough for me to feel that physical pain right now.
It's a thing that's happened to me twice because in San Francisco, I just got fiber where it was like $30 a month for like a for gigabit internet, and now I'm having to move again, and hopefully I'm gonna look at the options in the area once I touch down, but yeah, that's maybe the worst case.
You just gotta download everything right now.
Yeah, download and upload everything.
Just media overall content. That can't be that big. Few terabytes.
Yeah, that's pretty much all that's been going on with me.
How about on the creative side? You've been putting out a lot. We obviously talk. I mean, we're always talking about it. You and me.
Yeah. Creative side has been. It's been good. I think I'm doing a better job of managing multiple things right now than usual, and that's because I've had help. Anastasia obviously helping a ton, and I'm excited to kind of build some momentum with a lot of the things that we're working on, be it Gold Channel, Main Channel, and then also the podcast. getting things like up to speed. Pretty psyched about that. But enough about me for now. How about yourself, young blood?
I was about to say, my wry little cheeky way. I was about to be like, well, at least I'm not moving, and I realized I'm always moving.
Yeah,
that's my secret, Captain. I'm always moving.
I'm always moving.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, as I say, there's so much to appreciate still. I'm also in a very, very relatively comfortable place with my medication at the moment, which is always a relief, especially while I'm in the UK. Here's my my monthly Sophie's Choice. If I get my meds in the UK, and granted I can get them in both places concurrently, they don't block each other, but if I get my meds here, they are essentially free. It's $12 for a month or whatever, right?
Yeah,
the equivalent of $12. In the US, I can get them immediately, guaranteed. My psych will update the prescription to exactly what I need, which will not happen here. 2-year wait list to get the updates I would need.
Right.
$750 to get them stateside.
Oh.
I don't have health insurance right now because it felt pointless if I'm there, every now and then.
Yeah.
Now that I'm going to be coming back regularly, it is honestly cheaper to just burn months of not even being in the country with health insurance to afford. I could have paid for health insurance for all the months this year that I wasn't there and spent less on it. It was truly like, oh God. I was doing my best to put on a brave little face, dude. You want to see my my brave face, my attempt? I'll make a noise for the audio listeners.
Yeah. That'll be
so tell me my lamotrigine is $380.
I was like, I have some in the cabinet, but the lamotrigine, that's going to be $750.
Is it?
So will that be cash or credit?
Oh, for me?
Yes, sir. That's going to be $750.
That's crazy. No,
Do you have a Walgreens number?
The NHS. Yes.
The NHS. Is that a high school?
International Health Service, maybe.
Oh,
IHS. Any chance?
IHS.
You've probably wait. Hold on, and I pull up my channel. I'm like, does this change your mind? Perhaps?
Oh, I used to listen to your podcast when I was a baby.
Oh no, I can't go through this again.
And now I'm a doctor.
I don't want this. Yeah, it was a moment, but this is going to sound truly psychotic. There was something kind of cathartic about it because it was this like, oh yeah, back
you're back in America.
Ooh, born in the USA, baby.
Scraped your knee, that'll be $1,000.
Yeah, hey, keep the change, toots. It's like it's a check that bounces.
Yeah.
Hey, keep the change.
Oh my God. Keep the change of the check.
But yeah,
the paper check.
I mean, that's really exciting. There's a lot of pressure as far as trying to keep my content upload consistent, but it is finally the process feels really comfortable. Loving working with our team now, which is growing, man. I mean, 5 people consistently now? Yumi, Austin, Average, Stars.
Yeah, I guess like all the crew together that we're working with. Some international, some not working full time, but
yeah,
Yumi and Anastasia
literally only
full-time.
2 of them live in the same country consistently.
Yeah. Austin's in Canada, Average is in Australia.
Yeah, bummer for those 2. Am I right?
Yeah.
I say as they are getting that same medication for minus money, they're paid to take it.
They actually get paid. They're like lamotrigine. Oh, you're our lucky winner. You actually get $750.
We made this for. Is that Austin? I made some for you myself.
We've actually got some extra.
Yeah.
Do you want the spares that we've got?
We made some for Jordan, but he was an idiot. So we've got some surplus here for you. He was a fool and moved to the US.
My new medication is
new,
not available in generic. I think I've been on it for a couple months, but it's like a antidepressant thing. And
score out of 10 so far?
So far it's good. So far I unfortunately I don't really have transformational effect. Like I don't feel any transformational effects from any medication, but I think that it's helping from the low lows.
Especially stuff like antidepressives or antipsychotics where it's metabolizing over a long period of time.
Yeah.
And you don't notice it until you go like, oh, I showered 3 days in a row?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Cool. I think for me, it's just been like, oh, you haven't been sad every night of the week. So like, that's progress.
Yeah.
So that doesn't have it's like new-ish and it doesn't have a generic yet. So even with my insurance, it's kind of expensive. And I'm like, man, I hate this. I hate the American healthcare system.
I will say, having had to re-engage with it, because I had no psychiatric history before I moved to the US when I was 21, a month after I finished college. I had like when I came back here in 2020, one of the first immediate issues I had was them needing my national insurance number for taxes and all sorts of other things and medical stuff. And they were just like, yeah, what is that? I'm like, oh, I don't know. I was actually made this meeting so you could tell me. They're like, oh, well, it'll be written down on this form that you signed after college when you got your first job.
Oh.
Okay, but I didn't do that. So do you have the number? They're like, we can get you a new one. Yeah, but you're the government. Do you not have it? Probably.
Do you not have it? Yeah. Do you not have the
rattling
number
around
the
somewhere?
Number?
You have my permission to give me my national insurance number. Would that help?
I do hate that. I understand, the security of it all. But it does feel a little bit weird when you're verifying information about, like, it's like being asked for your when you don't know a password, and you're like, well, maybe it's ding dong 69, and then it's like your access granted, and then you feel like a genius for remembering something that you came up with.
Or the exact opposite when you're asked to prove that you're not a robot, and it's like, tap all the traffic lights. And it's like, you should have included the pole. Did you not include the post?
You didn't.
That's a
they
traffic
like show
light.
you they like turn around. They're like, behind this trash can was a secret traffic light. And it's like, I can't see behind the trash can.
Well, actually, behind the camera, it's all traffic lights. You are one.
There's actually 100 in this photo.
I am a robot.
That's it's extra embarrassing when like you're on the phone with someone and they're, instead of a robot where it's like, type in your number or whatever, it's a person going, and could you confirm with me what your password is for this account or what your PIN number is for this account? And I'm like, could you try Jarvis loves his mommy 420? And they're like, well, now is that mommy with O's or, no zeros for O's? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So Jarvis loves his mommy is unfortunately not coming out.
Yeah, and the M's are all capital. Maybe.
Okay, I don't know. Oh, could you try Sperm Doctor 24?
What website is this? What are you logging into?
Why are these?
You said your subscription was cancelled? Yeah, my dad found out I was subscribed.
Thank you for calling Walmart support. It's like it wasn't even a doctor.
There is you know what's funny about that is, support person, Wells Fargo support person, I know I should know my account number. We're on the same page. It's weird that I don't. It's not that long. I should have just been able to lock it in now. But you have to understand, this is your job and you think about account numbers. It's become a thing that you prioritize. I should have, because this comes up every single week of my life.
Right.
But I haven't. And so what I'm going to provide instead, I don't know. My memorable information, I mashed my face against the keyboard, so I don't know what it says. I clearly misspelled what my first school was.
Yeah.
I've forgotten what my first bet's name.
Yeah, you actually capitalized the F in Forest School, so we're going to have to assassinate you, actually.
Dude, feels like a personal attack that you'd assume I'd go to Forest School because I'm from the Midwest. I went to a school with the word valley in it.
Oh, so gosh, I was so close. I went to...
Oh, man. The Nature Boys.
Yeah, Nature Boys.
Oh, dude, this is nice.
Yeah.
Just having a nice time. I know we're weird for this, but, like, I feel very lucky that we have not just for getting to output a show and make a thing, but also doing it in a way that is it's a weird checkpoint. Every single time we make an episode of Sad Boys, it is an Everything Everywhere All at Once moment where I am thrown into every episode we've ever done, and I'm made to reflect on it, and bounces around in my head. I see all versions of myself. One where I'm a Chinese film star, and I
one
have
where
a
you're a
wonderful
rock.
finally saw it, by the way. I was lagging. I was so far behind.
Oh, dude, I'm happy for you. Did you enjoy it?
I adored it. I love.
I thought it was
Swiss
so
Army
good.
Man is one of my favorite movies ever, and I did not realize that it was the same directors until pretty close to seeing it. It's anything I could criticize about it is completely intentional, which for me it kind of eliminates critique. I think like as soon as
right, because it's like you made this choice on purpose, and it's like whether how I feel about that choice is whatever, because
it's like, oh well, I could critique like the structure near the end. It kind of has like 4 endings. It's kind of Return of the King itself, but all of them meant something to you clearly. It was an airtight screenplay for the thing you wanted to say. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. You know what's weird? I don't know if this played for you or not, if you have like life experiences where you empathized. I sympathized for the generational trauma stuff for like first generation families and the like, and the kind of emotional withdrawal element. My partner talked a little bit about her experiences as it always feels like it should be first generation when you were the first generation born, but no. Children of first generation immigrant parents. But they were talking about how, you kind of have to navigate that if your family's coming from a culture that maybe is not explicitly emotionally vocal as they might be expected to be in a new culture, or that you might need for whatever reasons. And she was very touched by that. And I genuinely just couldn't relate to it at all. Yeah. It was interesting it was not nice. I don't know how to describe it. It was interesting to know that I'm not the target of something and try and appreciate it from like...
Yeah, that's how I felt. I just felt like I was because it's not something that I have experience with, but something that I was trying to appreciate as an outsider.
It was like lyricism from like a life I haven't lived, like a style of like talking about like a marriage and like watching Marriage Story and being like, same, man. Definitely.
So there's a lot of things. I mean, we're running low on time, and there's a lot of things that I want to get to. So instead, I'm going to say that next time I want to look at my notes. I want to do a segment where I look at all the notes I write in a given week.
Oh, that's fun.
Don't actually revisit because I feel like I write things down to recall them, and I don't ever recall them.
There is a piece of paper on my desk for months that just says shoe rack, and I don't need or want to buy a shoe rack.
I have written down parasocial relationship with Jesus.
It's the most popular parasocial relationship in history.
Yeah, I think there's something funny there. You know what I mean?
There's something to work through.
But
wait. This I actually found. It's so funny you mentioned this because I have this is a prep note for an episode of Sad Boys in like 2020. I remember it was we were in that apartment. This is all it says. I'm not presenting some kind of puzzle. Maybe it's in an episode and some entrepreneuring young listener can give context. But by the time they DM me context, I'm going to have forgotten we did this. Right. Sorry, guys. A Nintendo Switch case, Splatoon 3 branded. Collector's edition box set of The Sopranos. 10 thin magnets. 12 coffee machine pods. Too much Velcro. A pair of novelty-sized Wolverine claws. Mr. Beast's autograph, and 2 plushie minions.
You know what this is from? This is
rings.
I know. That's what I first thought about. But you did a game where it was like guess. Oh, it was like you were asking me to choose between 2 things, or
Oh, like things maybe I had on my desk or something?
It was something. It was. Oh God. I can't remember, but it was for a segment.
I completely remember what it was.
What was it?
It was 2 of these arrived to my house, and I still don't know why. Packages arrived with these.
Yeah.
I know there were thin magnets. I found some recently. The rest of it, big question. None of these. Right. None of the other ones have I ever owned.
Funny. Yeah, there's so many just out of context things. It's like when we meet people or people DM us who reference old bits from the show that we just have no touch point with anymore.
Which is like the most flattering thing ever. And I don't. Oof,
I actually love it, and I want it to continue. Because
my version of that is referencing like the Frieza arc from Dragon Ball Z. Me going up to somebody and making that reference and crossing my fingers.
Yeah.
I said that to Ethan the other day. I made a Majin Buu reference, and Ethan is, 17 years old or something.
Yeah, he's like
and he 14, was just like, yeah, just got it. And it made me feel so cool.
Oh, nice.
Maybe I'm in my early 20s as well.
So, is there anything... I mean, I also wanted to talk about, and this is something for later, how I'm insecure about how often I say and ah, and how hard it is sometimes for me to speak without thinking. Like, I lose my train of thought when I speak, but I don't want to talk. We don't have time. And I need to talk about a crazy dream that I had if I can find the notes on it. And also someone, when I was streaming, this one is a little bit ridiculous. I was watching a Darman video, as I often do on stream, and someone was packing a suitcase on their bed, which is a scene that we often see in film and television.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I just thought about this. If you're flying with your luggage, should we really be putting it on the bed? It's dirty. It's gone through, like, God knows where. You know what I mean? And I never put my luggage on my bed because I think about that. And then someone DM'd me very passive aggressively, clean your suitcase. To which I thought, no person has ever done that. No person has ever cleaned their suitcase. Don't project your weird behavior on me. Cleaning suitcases is not something that we as a society do.
Well, yeah. Also, if we're only going on workflow, what? Clean my suitcase so that I can put it on my bed, unpack it, put it in a closet, and then fly again.
Yeah.
I'm never interacting with this until
you're only cleaning it to put it on your bed. Like, just put it on the floor or somewhere
where it will
inconsequential.
Be forever until you fly on a plane again.
I feel like it's only put on beds because it makes for a more compelling shot in film and television.
Yeah, exactly. Not kneeling on the ground or throwing them haphazardly into the distance.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I'm glad
that's a good point. It would be way less impactful for a sudden surprise I'm leaving you if they were kind of kneeling, like, cross-legged on the ground, folding the underwear to make it as thin as possible.
Yeah, they've got to be, doing the whole thing.
Yeah, look, I'm leaving you and you're keeping the kids because I hate them both, but I'm going to hold the top down and you do the zip. Is that viable?
Yeah.
No, wait, you're opening the other zip.
No, it's double zipped. And then it bursts.
This is why I'm leaving.
Everything flies all over the place. This is why I'm leaving you. Okay, so that's all my stuff. Before we get into potentially a pen pal, is there anything that you wanted to knock out?
I don't think so, though I will mention, speaking of pen pals, I just gathered some DMs this time for a quick Q&A, but if people want to send something a little bit more substantial, hey, did you already know this, or is it news to you? But we have an email address. It's called sadboyspod@gmail.com. I
did know that, and I remember it from the past, but maybe the listener...
Oh, from when we made it several years ago, when I was in high school.
Yeah, back when I was learning to speak for the first time.
Sad Boys came out when everyone was in high school, somehow.
No matter how old you are.
The creation of high school.
I was talking to Robert De Niro the other day, and he was like, I'm a big fan of Sad Boys when I was in high school.
Can you believe it? Yeah, if you would like to send a more substantial letter in, no word count, no word cap, though do keep in mind I'm intimidated by paragraphs, so two paragraphs will be
I too am intimidated by paragraphs. And let us know if it's okay to read it on the show. And also, I do kind of like giving advice, so if you need advice on something, that'd be nice.
More than welcome, including things that I quite enjoy trying to give advice on things I'm not qualified to talk about purely so, even if I'm slipping up, it's fun to throw my brain into things I'm not ready for. I think that could be fun. Extended list of questions, just an extended letter if you prefer. But yeah, sadboyspod@gmail.com. Some of the Q&A questions we got a lot because I'm an idiot and I posted it and left it up. I forget that people see the things I post. So oh, fuck me, dude. So many. I'm so stupid. And some of these don't make sense because I bet they're references to stuff. Like this one just says juice box, haha. Right? If maybe it's on a different piece of paper that I wrote
yeah, that's it.
When I was in high school.
Juice box, thin magnets, Mr. Beast's autograph.
Have we eaten yet today? Have you eaten yet today? What you had?
I had. Oh God. What did I have?
Uh-oh.
Wild. I don't know what I had. Oh, I had a There's a chocolate croissant right next to me, or
okay.
Pun.
Okay. Dude, I was gonna be very mad at you if you did not have at least lunch.
I also had an avocado toast, which is why I can't afford a house.
Oh, what? You people, you millennials, you're not buying enough diamonds. You're spending all your money on that thing, SNL or something.
Yeah, it's true. Oat milk.
Well, this is just a really nice one. Josie says, "No way, no way, no way." Which I think is just a response to us doing the podcast at all.
I think they're just protesting. They were like,
yeah, they're trying to stop me, actually.
No way. Yeah,
wait,
please
they sent me a video. A gun? The pod is getting me... currently, the pod is getting me through college, but I ran out of episodes. This is wonderful. Oh, that's very sweet.
Aww.
To this day, the pod, which has, a fraction the consumers of other content, versus, some
sure.
of our videos, right? By far the most DMs and by far the most fan art by
Definitely.
tenfold.
By tenfold.
It is.
I also realized that for the sake of in the future, this is a note to self, but we'll leave it in the show. We need to talk about clickbaity subjects so that we can put them in the title and thumbnail so that people click and then they hear us talk about emotional vulnerability and sad stuff.
Well, here's one, and I'll write it down to talk about it next week because it's not really. It's evergreen for some fucking reason. It won't go away. It would be interesting to talk about Andrew Tate, not in terms of the man, more in terms of there are, in my opinion, some kind of ice cold takes about talking about Andrew Tate is dangerous, and you are platforming this man by, and it's interesting. I think it's.
There's also the news of Andrew Tate getting banned from Instagram and Facebook today. Yeah. Which is something that and then he immediately goes live with Aiden Ross to 100,000 people on Twitch. So I think he's fine. But
he's fine. And he's always got his special school where he teaches you how to ingest enough testosterone via elk meat that you can intimidate any woman at her place of work or whatever.
Yeah, it's known as Hustlers University.
Hustlers University.
Hustlers University.
You do such.
You get a Bugatti. You enroll in Hustlers University. You're set for life. You're a top G.
I love your Andrew Tate.
I did it on stream.
Do you remember just doing it in the car for
Yeah, I do. I told you about us in the car doing it, and now people tell me it unsettles them.
Yeah,
which is honestly a goal for any impression.
That was the most Jordan Jarvis contrast things we were talking about. How we were talking about serious business stuff. Logistics.
Oh, we were,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember the segue, but then it was just us going Hustlers University.
It was just us practicing Andrew Tate accents for simply to make fun of the very toxic and bad man who at the time was just all over social media. So obviously a topic of discussion. I don't want to trivialize. I don't want anybody to think we're trivializing Andrew Tate by making jokes about him.
But it is, he generates a toxic energy and is the result of a ideology that I not only disagree with, but I think is fundamentally evil. But also he sounds very funny. And
he sounds very funny.
It is
fun to bully his whole
thing. Person.
And when we're making fun of him at his expense, we do not think that he has really any redeeming qualities. But Yeah.
Is your last name really Adika? Just curious. No, it's my middle name, and I tricked you. Uh, you've been playing games lately, by the way? Any video games? Somebody asked if we have a favorite video game lately.
I don't. I played a little bit of Don't Starve, with
Together?
friend of the show. Yeah, Don't Starve together with friend of the show Zoe, but I haven't really played anything. I want to play Multiverses, and I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, it's interesting. That could be fun. I'd love to play some Don't Starve together. Actually, it's been.
Oh yeah.
It's too hard. I mean, I need emotional support through it.
It is. I was looking into like the strategy for it, because we were just going without a guide, and just like trying to intuit stuff. But then when you look into it, I was like, oh wow, this is very deep. Oh, and then I played on the plane to Spain, which lies mainly in my brain. I went to Spain for my friend Nick's wedding, Nick and Alba. Congratulations. We went to Gijón, Spain.
Yeah, how long you give them?
Decades.
Whoa, and then divorced.
And then divorced. Like right on their deathbed, yeah.
Yeah.
So on the plane, which was it's a like 13-hour flight or something, I played a little bit of Final Fantasy VII, and then I also played a little bit of Hollow Knight.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah. So those were fun.
You've been hitting the classics because I hadn't touched Don't Starve since the original Don't Starve.
Yeah.
Which I really got into. Don't Starve has gone through Don't Starve and its sequel Don't Starve Together has gone through a Minecraft style evolution of indie darling to iteration on iteration on iteration, and now the lore is really deep. The mechanics are great. The systems are like it's one of those games with a Tumblr shipping community kind of thing.
Right.
Where the lore has been built Freddy Fazbear style by not the people making it.
I do want to play, speaking of Freddy Fazbear, I do want to play some scary games on stream. Oh, I did try to play the Backrooms for a little bit, but I couldn't figure out one of the puzzles and got tired and went to sleep.
Well, let me tell you. We can leave this in. I am working with a company. I don't know if I should say their name yet, but I'm doing a charity stream or like a couple days of charity streams in October, which will probably be close to when this comes up. With horror games and stuff for a charity that like works in children's hospitals to provide like game escapism and stuff like that. It's very cute.
Right.
It's
not Child's Play, is it?
It's not Child's Play. I will pull it up because that's where my brain went as well.
Yeah, because I was just like, that's the only one that I know that works with kids and video games.
Snoozed. Yeah, this is the one. Gamers Outreach. The company is Gamers
cool.
Outreach. We believe the world is better when hospitalized kids can play. It's really cute. It's very cohesively put together. I have some friends that have previously been involved with their projects, but they are doing a spookathon. And they suggested I gather together a couple of friends and we play something on stream. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to do like a 12-hour or a 24-hour or whatever, make a spectacle of it. But if you want to join me at some point and play a game called Barrow Trauma, BAROTRAUMA, or Don't Starve Together. Both spooky, scary, stressful.
I'm down to play something spooky and scary. I just kind of want to scream. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Unrelated to streaming.
Yeah, I just kind of need an outlet to scream, and then that way I can say that it's from a horror game, but in reality, it's my trauma.
I'm so scared. Fuck. When was the last time? Oh, I mean, we can end with this. When was the last time you had a proper good scream or yell, big yell?
Ooh. Sometimes I do a little. Have you ever had an anxiety yell? One time, this is maybe a couple weeks ago, I couldn't fall asleep, and it made me very antsy and annoyed. And I screamed. I was just like, ah! Like, because I was just like, so anxious that I wanted to scream because I couldn't relax myself.
Yeah,
it was like weird. It was almost, I guess maybe it's like not a panic attack, but something along those lines where there was no place I could go that was like safe. And it just felt very like sort of walls closing in.
It's like the shaking up a can. It's not like a long, big. It's just a quick like pow, cracking open the tab on a can. Just
Yeah,
like, pow.
exactly.
It needs to. The carbonation has to go somewhere.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, no, I can
agree
understand
with that.
I think that's probably the closest to the most recent. I've been living with people for the first time in a really long time for the last sort of. I'm on my third year. I'm on my third lease of less than a year.
Right. Right.
For the last two places, I was taking care of my mum, and then now I have my roommate Joel.
Yeah.
And in both cases, I have my anger issues from time to time. And when I lived by myself, I just didn't have a coffee table for half that lease because I just stomped through it so many times.
Yeah.
But I was living solo bolo. I could get away with it. Now I'm trying to be more considerate. I've had this weird thing lately where I think I'm so in the mood to play a video game. Like, can't believe how much work progress I've made. I'm feeling like I'm in such a good mood. Sit down, PS5 controller in my hand. I'm like, oh, I want to scream. I'm just really, really angry immediately if I play poorly, which did not used to be the case.
Oh, yeah. You go on Xbox Live, then
something about just the current mindset. I really want to get into Guilty Gear, and I can't because if I get hit once, I get angry and I turn it off.
Yeah, you know me. I'm like a very perfectionist thing, and it's very hard for me sometimes to enjoy things that I'm bad at, and so I sometimes. A lot of me getting better at games is me talking down to myself and being mad at myself for not being perfect at it.
Yeah.
But then I get good really fast, and that's what it's all about. It's about how you perform at the game, not about your mental health along the way.
Yeah, not about sustainably playing the game or really just like the game reducing
or even having
your
fun,
life expectancy.
Because it's not about having fun.
Yeah. Oh, look at this, Mr. Entertainment over here, obsessed with enjoying themselves.
Yeah, what a loser! Freaking,
what a dorcas!
It's if you don't win, then you're a bad person.
And then all of a sudden, guess who's getting 10-hit combos?
Yeah.
Hey, guess who knows the lore?
And guess who wins the world championship and isn't excited about it because they didn't allow themselves to feel a single a modicum of joy the entire time.
Who's a loser now? Me still?
Yeah, me. I mean
in
you.
a different way.
Oh, okay.
You got stuff going on today? I guess at the end of my day.
Boo. I'm working on a video. We're like scripting, and I need to do more of that. But do I feel like it? No. So we'll see where that goes. And then I need to pack the stuff that the company can't pack, the moving company can't pack, are like my technology, So and also some delicate, items that I have here. So
the dog.
they just don't know how to pack them safely. I am doing that stuff bit by bit. So yeah,
today.
Probably a little bit of both of those things.
Any content?
Just the writing.
Oh,
not filming anything. I don't think.
Oh, yuck, writing.
I'm gonna
preparing
film
a video.
Get
the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Look at this loser.
I did just do I did just film. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but I filmed a video that I have to film over a couple of, like, I filmed something now and then I'm gonna film something like next month. And so I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be like working on a couple different things.
Oh yeah, especially something that sounds like kind of a bigger scale, high concept type thing.
Yeah, at least just a little bit. And then I've got the next thing up, just like working on deadlines and things like that. I've got a vehicle registration renewal notice sitting in front of me that I owe $750 apparently to the DMV, so I'm excited to pay that. Pretty pumped,
hell yeah,
actually. Dude. Yeah.
And they'll give you medication, or what's the trade-off with that one?
I don't think I get anything. I think it's actually just money I owe the government for having
you get to keep things exactly how they are and still have to move, yes?
Yes.
Ka-ching.
Yes. Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, I mean, I for one am excited for you to move and have a whole new generation of trash stories. Who knows? Imagine if you move somewhere and the trash experience is really good.
Oh, a man can dream. Don't
Fiber's
gone,
share any
trash
is in.
Don't fucking threaten me with a good time. I actually may have to share trash bins, because technically I will have a neighbor, but hopefully not that close of a neighbor. We'll see. Okay, well, this has been a treat, and we'll be back soon with another one, hopefully.
That's another little treat for you, little
Another
freaks.
little treat for you freaks, yeah.
You crazy little emotional perverts out there, right?
We end every episode of Sad Boys with a particular phrase.
We love you.
And we're sorry.
Sorry.
Boom!
Boom.
Hey, you got a little tattoo.
I should get
And you elbow them with, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I keep elbowing you.
Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl, how's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, all you want it. Girl, too rich for me.